Hey guys, welcome back to Mo's Game Table. Today we're going to take a look and say something a little different. This is Radio Commander. It is from Playway and it is currently on Kickstarter with a few days to go. It is ending on Thursday and it has already raised $20,000. And there are still some, I think, more features they want to unlock. But the latest feature that I saw that was unlocked was voice command, which is pretty cool. This game is all about commanding your troops in the field from the distance using the radio. So we'll discuss it a little bit more about the game as it goes along, but we're going to click on this menu and show you what you get in the demo. But Hearts and Minds tutorial is one we'll do, so that way you get an idea about what this is all about. Alright, so the game is all about commanding your troops in the field using a radio, not in the field itself. You'll actually be back here in the TOC, which is this really nicely adorned tent, and you'll just sit here. This stuff really doesn't matter. It's all window dressing. All that really does matter is this radio here and the map. This is where you're going to send your commands from, and this is what you're going to move your troops around on here on this map. So we'll get this started up. We'll close this tutorial window out. Now the radio's on. You'll see the light kicked on, and you'll hear the fan kick in as well. And we'll go ahead and we'll
Good day,
send out the
ladies and
first
gentlemen. This
transmission
is
to the
Papa
field.
Bear. We have a beautiful day ahead of us, with air humidity at 95% and 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Our task today is simple. We want to win the hearts and minds of the South Vietnamese people. Alpha Squad is visiting a nearby village, making friends and chatting about Viet Cong activity. Bravo Squad is laying on the hill, awaiting further instructions. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha 12, man, reporting for duty, out.
Alright, so Alpha is out there in the field. They've responded in. They're ready to go. They're waiting for your order. The first objective is to visit the nearby village at Ben Son. We're going to minimize this. We'll click on the map, and you'll be able to scroll in here. This is the AO that you're going to be working in, and this is where Alpha is currently. This is the village they're going to go to. So to go ahead and give the order, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the space bar, bring up the command menu, and I'm going to give them an order to go to the village. There's a couple ways you can move guys around on the map. You can either select the location if it's already here. You can manually change the grid coordinates here, or you can click on the map itself. I'm going to go ahead and click village
Alpha,
and send the
this is
command
Papa
over.
Bear. Move to the village. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha, moving to the village, out.
Alright, so they're going to be moving to the village, and it is now 11:17. I'm going to compress time and to show you something real quick. Alright, so we compress time. It is about 10 minutes have passed roughly, and as you can see, this counter did not move, and they're trying to get to the Ville. That's where they started, was up here, and it's not going to move on its own. This is just like a placekeeper for you to, build a better tactical picture on the map to know where everything is, because everything, as I said, is going to be coming in through radio reports. So what we're going to do is we're going to report, or get a report from Alpha as far as where their position is.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. What's your position? Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha, reporting position 2, 3, 1, by Niner, 5, 3, moving to 2, 0, 8, by Niner, 3, 7, out.
Alright, so Alpha's pause is 231, 953 on the map. You can see here the grids, 230 and the 950 is here. So it's going to be right about there as they're coming down this little trail. So you just move it right there if you want to just keep track of where they are along in their journey. And as I said, really it's about building a better tactical picture as things happen. Right now it's one unit. You get multiple units on the map. It's going to be really difficult to try to figure out what to do with your guys.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We're in the village, sir. Talking to the locals, giving them leaflets. There are a few Arvin soldiers here. They look awfully bored, over.
Alright, it's telling you to wait until your men are done speaking with the villagers to get some intel. Okay, so we're going to wait for the conversation to take place between the village elders and the Alpha platoon that's in there. While they're doing that, I'm just going to kind of show you a couple other things about the map. As you're moving around, like I said, you can move these guys here. I'm going to move them into the Ville because we know they're there. But if you want it to quickly put, you get a contact report that there's enemy here in this location, just right click and you select enemy, infantry, slick, artillery or base, and the same for friendly, unknown, and neutral. So that way, again, you can build a better tactical picture, because that's the whole challenge of the game, is getting these reports in from the field and then you having to put everything down on the map, hopefully accurately based on what you're getting. One thing I'm curious to know is if these radio reports are going to degrade over, the course of the game, possibly as people get wounded, stress levels get high, weather interferes with the conditions of the battlefield, things like that. I would like to see if that's going to change. I hope it is, because there's a lot of potential here with this. But there's also conversations to help drive a story forward. Again, it's in development, so it's a little rough, but there are some misspellings I saw down here in the conversation history. It's not a big deal. Those are easily fixed, but some of the conversations are just kind of, I don't know, not really doing a lot for me. I just would prefer, I think, a little bit more business-like. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's, the situation is in the field. This is the contact report. A little bit more so than the conversational nature, things that are being said across the open freak, but that's part of the game too, is they have to have a story, and the only way to do it is through audio. So we'll compress this and we'll move it along.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We have something. One of the Papa Sands claims there's Viet Cong camp nearby. Over.
Alright, so you get another objective, which is search for any VC activity at the given location, and the VC camp has popped up on your map.
I hear ya, Alpha.
Roger. Out.
Alright, so they're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give them marching orders over to this location. We'll just click on the map.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. Move to 281 by 910. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Moving to 281 by 910. Out.
Alright, so they're going to move along. Then there's going to be another conversation that's going to pop up in here. It's going to give Bravo, who's going to want to get in on the fun too.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. Lieutenant Coleman speaking. Should Bravo step in and support Alpha? Over.
Alright, so Bravo wants to get involved here, and we'll just ask Alpha if they need it.
Alpha Platoon, this is Papa Bear. How's the situation down there? Do you need support? Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Looks like we will be okay by ourselves. I expect little resistance, if at all, but it's always nice to have a backup. Your call, sir. Over.
Alright, so I'm going to bring in Bravo. I'm going to send Alpha to secure the LZ.
Bravo Platoon, this is Papa Bear. You are going in. Alpha, secure the LZ for Green 1. Over.
Yes, sir. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to fight, sir. Some of my boys are really excited. Out.
Alright, so you heard the radio transmission from the helo that's moving in. I'm going to go ahead and send Alpha over to the LZ.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. Move to the LZ. Over.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your captain speaking. We are currently at the altitude of 10 feet over the treetops, moving with the speed of 80 miles per hour. On your left, right, and in front, you can admire beautiful views of Vietnamese rice fields. Please don't look back, because that safe, warm place you've left is not an option anymore. So fuck your life and have a nice day.
Alright, they're flying nap of the Earth. It's time to embrace the suck as the helos are moving them in.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Reporting position 281 by 933. Out.
Alright, so they are at the LZ.
Papa
And
Bear, this is Bravo. We're on the ground, ready to help those pretty white boys. Out.
alright, so now we've got Bravo down on the ground. We're going to move them over to the VC camp.
Bravo, this is Papa Bear. Move to 281 by 910. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. Moving to 281 by 910. Out.
And I'm also going to move Alpha as well, because I tried this before and they didn't, it didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these guys. I'm going to put them right outside the VC camp location. So Alpha is there, and let's see where Bravo is. Alright, so when I tried this before, I didn't get anything when I moved Bravo into the VC camp area. So now I'm going to move Alpha, see if that is part of the trigger.
Bravo, this is Papa Bear. What's your status? Over.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. We are waiting for orders. Reporting 0 deaths, no wounded. Boys morale high. Unit fresh and clean. Ammo full. Out.
All right, so that's an example of a status report you can get from your platoons to know what they're doing, how they are, their disposition, and we'll compress time again. All right, we'll spread this out a little bit, move Bravo further over, compress time again.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We are at the waypoint. Nobody's here now, but definitely someone was here recently. There are signs of camping and some papers. I think it's a poem. Kendrick says it's something like, turn your grief into anger.
All right, so Alpha has
Vietcong propaganda.
made
Charlie was here, for sure.
Alright, so they've not made contact, but they have found the camp. So you have two options. You can either say that you bet the villagers warned the enemy, or Charlie left the place before we even talked to the villagers. As both of those were valid in the whole Vietnam situation, we'll go with number one.
I bet the villagers warned the enemy. Someone will have to talk to them one more time. Only someone without your diplomatic touch, Kovacs. Burn the place to the ground and head for the LZ. There's no point in combing the forest now. Out.
So I went ahead and I added a Bravo platoon counter and an Alpha counter. Alpha is actually down here. And we will go ahead and compress time while they burn down the camp.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Seems like the place was burned down to the ground. We should be moving to the LZ. Over.
Alright, so the job is done there. Now we're going to get these guys back to the LZ.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Moving to the LZ. Out.
Alright, so now they're all moving to the LZ. We're going to compress time and we'll see if we can get some contact with VC.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We are under attack from 283 by 911. Out. Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Shooting at enemy at 283 by 911. Out.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. Contact Charlie. Grunts. Around 20 or so. Man. At 283 by 911. Out.
Alright, so we've got contact report here of
Papa
enemy
Bear,
infantry.
This is Bravo. Opening fire at Charlie location. At 283 by 911. Out.
Alright, so I know my two platoons are somewhere in this area. Actually, these guys are probably over here, but as you can see, these counters, when they're put in together, they kind of push them each other around. So that's something that hopefully does get maybe scored away a little bit in development here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them all engage.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. Engage. Over. Bravo, this is Papa Bear. Engage. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Moving into position to engage the enemy at 281 by 914. Out.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. We're ready to engage enemy. Moving into his position at 281 by 914. Out.
And that's just a note for
Papa Bear,
development. I would like
this
to
is
see.
Alpha. We have wounded. Out.
So Alpha's taking casualties. That's something I'd like to see from a development standpoint, is that you can chain the commands together instead of having to give each one for Alpha and Bravo individually. It'd be nice to say, you know, all elements attack or whatever, something like that. If you had like a third option where you can chain them together, especially if there's only two, or if there's a way to select them on the map and give orders that way, kind of like you do it on RTS or something. But again, the game's still in development, but this gives you an idea what's going on. So we'll compress and see how this combat situation is going.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We have wounded. Out.
Get a status report on Alpha.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. What's your status? Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. We've been ordered to engage. Exchanging fire. Reporting no KIA. 2. Wounded. Our morale is excellent. We're fresh as a daisy. Ammo full. Out.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. We report Charlie. Grunts. Around 12 man. At 283 by 911. Out.
And again, this is some of the wording that needs to be kind of cleaned up when it comes to, the game. It's, again, a demo. But it says here, we report Charlie Grunts circa 12 man. That's the text down there. But I think it'd be better off if they kind of tighten up the wording a little bit. You don't need to say Charlie Grunts, just say enemy infantry, things like that. You can say Charlie, whatever. But be a little more concise. I know that they're trying to be a little bit more descriptive because it's audio, but I don't know, it's just my personal preference. Obviously, you guys definitely feel free to post comments below as to what you think.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Sir, those Victor Charlie fighters are very determined. We are wasting them in tones, but that's not stopping them. They are hopping over their comrades' bodies.
Papa Bear, this is Bravo. Frag those fuckheads. Enemy destroyed. Out.
Alright, so it looks like the Alpha and Bravo platoons were able to carry the day there. It says all units must survive. Move to the LZ. And so I'm going to go ahead and move them to the LZ.
Alpha, this is Papa Bear. Move to the LZ. Over.
Papa Bear, this is Alpha. Moving to the LZ. Out.
Bravo, this is Papa Bear.
Papa Bear.
And you can kind of jump past things by clicking on a time compression.
I have to tell you, Captain. If all Charlie are so determined, we have a problem. It looked like they wanted to win a lot more than we did. They were ignoring KIA on their side, only interested in tearing us to pieces. And the hatred, damn. They sure hate us, sir.
Here's another part
Well, I can tell you one
about
thing,
this
white boy. If
conversation.
I were Lebanese and some assholes from across the seas would invade my country just to sell me some stupid-ass democracy, I would join Viet Cong. That's for sure.
Alright, so again, that's, the conversational stuff that I was talking about, going back and forth on the radio with this to drive the story forward. I think, I don't know, I'm kind of the mind right now, initially, with this. I'm going to compress time while this is going on, that maybe it would be better served in an after-action report, maybe an audio after-action report. Just keep it kind of simple and to the point in the game narrative itself.
Alpha, we're closing in on the LZ. No enemy in sight. Over.
Alright, so that is the end of the Hearts and Minds scenario. So enemy losses, there were 2 wounded, no KIAs. Score is 866, and enemy losses, there were 18 wounded, 4 killed in action. So that is the ending of the Hearts and Minds scenario, just to give you guys an idea of what goes on with that. But again, you have the other one here, the Hill. That's a little more involved because now you're going to have the Kazavat guys out that are wounded, and you're going to have to kind of fill in the lines and make sure that you create a perimeter to ferry troops in and out. Basically, you have to get guys in off the line and fill up the helo, get them back to base and to field hospital, and then you're going to be doing that a few times while you're trying to get those guys out and repel any attacks by the VC. But that is a look inside of Radio Commander. I hope that was informative for you. And if you are interested in it, it is still available on Kickstarter right now, and it ends on Thursday morning. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them down below, and I'll give you any information I can. And if you're interested in following them on Twitter, they are at Commander Radio. You can get information directly from them as well, and you'll see information they're posting out and tweets about the game, things like that. Or hit me up on Twitter at Mo's Game Table, and we can discuss there as well. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next time.